No.
17 million. But
Yeah.
just one final point. Do you think that leaving Europe our previous caller was saying one of the reasons for not leaving Europe is because banks, other institutions will have to move, will have to find employment from other countries, etc. Do you worry that actually it might affect your daughter's chances of getting a job because we've voted to leave rather than stay?
Well, she wants to be a teacher, so I've advised as soon as she's qualified to leave the country and sit on a plane and go to Australia if you need.
Okay, so she'll be an immigrant there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice to speak to you, Lucy. Thanks for coming on. Do ring again. 0345 6060 973 is the number to ring. John's done that. He's in Blackpool. How's Lancashire today, John?
Hello, sir. We're very well, thank you. And I think these people on the march, they really should stop whinging, bleating and grizzling and maybe pay a little bit of respect to the way I voted. Right. That would be nice.
I don't think they're...
disappointment.
I don't think they're voting... They're marching to sort of antagonise you. I think they're actually marching to say, listen, the Western world, we didn't all vote to leave, you know.
Well, that's right, and we didn't all vote Mr. Blair in 1997. I was disappointed about that, but I didn't take to the streets marching up and down, crying and grizzling and whinging about it. You know, that's just the way democracy works. And please understand that I did not vote out because of the immigration issue.
Why did you vote out?
I voted out for two main reasons. I consider the EU to have been created by politicians for the enrichment of politicians, and I don't like the fact that we've made laws in this country for 950 years. And I would prefer that the government that we elect directly in Westminster make the laws under which I live.
Yeah, over the last 43 years or whatever it is since we've been in the common market in the EU, what laws have affected your life adversely, John, from Europe?
Well, that's not the point. The point is I want those laws to be made in Westminster. I don't want them to be made by
We've had a long time. We've had a long time with the court in Strasbourg being in charge. Has there been any law passed by Europe that you've disagreed with that you feel we should have passed ourselves?
Yeah, I can give you one off the top of my head. The way they force the insurance companies to view male and female drivers as an equal risk when they get behind the wheel of the car. I totally disagree with that.
Man, you're not seriously saying that, are you? You're saying that women are worse drivers?
Insurance companies to change that. Excuse me?
You're saying men and women drivers are different because which ones are worse?
The younger male drivers are much worse, and when they have accidents, they cost the insurance companies more money. Or their premiums were loaded, and Europe said we can't discriminate between male and female young drivers.
Okay, fair enough. And has that adversely affected your life, you think?
It's affected a couple of my daughters, yeah, absolutely it has. But, you know, there's just so much stuff that they alter. And I think you had a caller called David. Well, he needs to get his facts right, and he should speak to someone that works for, is it Bombardier in Derby?
Yeah.
You know, when they're making those trains, or were they trams, I can't remember. But they were given to, I think it was a German company, because we had to treat all vendors equally. Mm-hmm. And he said that countries within the EU are allowed to give preference to home-based companies. Not the case. Europe says you're not allowed to. Sorry, the EU says you're not allowed to do that. I mean, I love Europe, and I love the people of Europe. I just detest the institution called the EU, and I'm so glad to get away from the damn thing. And if the young people are upset by the vote going the way they didn't want it to go, maybe more of them should have voted rather than doing other things like going to Glastonbury or whatever, you know, if it's that important to them.
Fair enough, John. It's John in Blackpool. That's why I said sometimes you get long, involved and convoluted arguments as to why people think the way they do and what the opinion is via text and tweet. Especially the text 84850, the Twitter address at LBC. Here's another short one to the point. He's from Boom with 3 O's. Bob Geldof, he needs a wash and a haircut. 0345 6060 973 for your view. Keith is in Bristol. Hello, my friend. What would you like to say?
Oh, hi, yeah. I'm 70 years old, and I was absolutely gutted that we came out by coming out the I live in Bristol, which together with its sister city Bath voted to stay in the European Union. I think this is just a result of a pack of lies and should therefore be rerun.
A pack of lies?
Yeah.
By leave?
24 hours of... Exactly. Within 24 hours of the result, the case it was all falling apart, wasn't it? There was no 350 billion pounds a week. There was no 80 million checks knocking on the border, etc., etc., etc.
But again, you see, it's from listening to most people. Yes, people like Lucy said they voted for immigration. It's not immigration; it's more overpopulation. I've always thought it's the speed of the change which has really affected people. But the majority of people who I speak to on this station, elsewhere, read about, hear about, majority of them are like that gentleman we had from Blackpool who said it's the EU, it's the fact that they're in charge. The final buck will stop with them. They will make the final decision in Strasbourg. It won't be our decision. I contend I don't know of much legislation that's really, maternity leave, paternity leave, I don't know, hasn't really affected my life in any great way, which is why I couldn't make up my mind one way or the other. I just didn't feel strong enough one way or the other to vote that particular way. So I just wonder whether or not it really was a pack of lies or not.
Well, yeah, I think it was. I mean, immigration from the European Union has been a great benefit to the area that I've lived in. A great benefit.
Okay. Listen, I've got to move on, Keith. I'm sorry. We're trying to wrap up a few things before we go. Thank you very much for getting in touch with us. During the show, we brought you the sad news, of course, that the comedian, actress and writer Caroline Aherne has died at the age of 52 after a long battle with cancer. She will be best known for her character, Mrs. Merton. And the moment she asked Debbie McGee this question.
But what first, Debbie, attracted you to the millionaire Paul Daniels?